welcome to Saturday Night Bottom Aggressive New Show. Let's be S3. I am your host, Marlon, along with Anna Hart, along with Fierce. No, this is not a replay. I repeat, this is not a replay. We are live. And for the first time, Anna, you said, I miss y'all. Miss you guys. And I said, miss you too, Anna. Then I had to think, why do I miss her? We talk. Then it didn't dawn on me. We've been off the air for the last 2 weeks. I think that's the longest we've been off the air. I was supposed to come back on last Sunday, but I got sick, so I didn't come on. So, yeah, we're back. Yeah.
Good to be back.
With a full crew. As you can see, we're going to go through a couple of Reddit stories, different stories this time. I couldn't find one story, so it's different stories. But if you are new to the show, please hit that like button. Oh, here we go with him.
Morpheus is changing size.
I did it on purpose. All of you guys are one size, and I was a whole different size.
Oh, that's usually me.
I thought I was too close, but anyway, if you're new to the show, please go ahead and hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. I don't know what the uptick was about, but we are now at 751 subscribers.
Oh.
So if you're new to this show, please hit that like button. This is what we do on Saturday Night Live, is that we just listen to a bunch of Reddit stories, give our advice on it or our input on it or our take on it, and we just piggyback back and forth. Please hit that like button. We would truly appreciate it. The more likes that we get, the more the YouTube algorithm would tell everybody that we are live, and that would tell more people that we are here. Also, in the second half, I have one major announcement. Is not huge, it's not blockbuster, but it is something that does affect the show, and it is something that has to be done. So, that's all I got. Hey, Anna.
Hey, it's good to see everybody. I did miss y'all. I was thinking, just as you were explaining, and hey to the new subscribers, that's awesome to come back to an increase. If this was just about reading some Reddit stories and giving our advice, I honestly don't think I would have stayed here as long. It is that Reddit stories are a what's the word? A catalyst? Like a catapult even to a good discussion. And I mean, we can often take from the story and go into a different direction, but all in all, the quality of discussion is what keeps bringing me back, and I do appreciate you both a lot for letting me share this space with you. So I've been honestly, I've not been well. I've been really kind of suffering past couple weeks. Not sure even tonight. I might deke out a little bit early. So I want to kind of save up my energy for tomorrow night. And like that there. I have nothing more to say.
You this?
Well, I'm glad you're feeling a little bit better today. Definitely, manage your energy and do what's best for you.
Thank you.
Nah, everything's cool with me. I haven't really been doing much. Just man, I can't even say I've been working on my business that much. I've been lazy. Boy, I've been lazy. But yeah, it's really just checking out of the political scene, focusing more on making sure my money's right. And just watching everything pretty much happen, man. I've started to do more on Instagram now. So that's new for me. But that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. I see your Instagram post darn near every day. this watch is connected to my phone. So any Facebook notice, any Instagram notice, any text message,
Oh wow.
Trying to
vibrate.
get you a smartwatch. Yeah,
Yeah.
I never keep mine. I never keep mine charged. So mine is sitting upstairs somewhere. I usually just watch. Only reason I wear my watch, legit, is so it can tell me what my heart rate is. That's it.
No, well, mine I do it to tell me how far I walk. So far, I'm at 3,484 steps. So, and it'll probably be no more than that because I'm not moving no more. We went to the movies, to the mall, to the something, to the something else. So I'm done. That's it, folks. Anyway, without further ado, let's get this party started. Just 4 videos for tonight. And I'm gonna give an easy one right now. The cleaner is cleaning my house.
My girlfriend moved to my house 6 months ago. Despite me paying 3/4 of the rent, she's a student, we still agreed that we would split the chores of the house 50-50. Now, my girlfriend doesn't have OCD, but she borderline can have those tendencies sometimes when it comes to cleaning. Everything must be done her way. Like freaking out when I cleaned the kitchen, but there was some dust on top of the fridge. Now, I didn't clean properly and I'm just doing things the wrong way, so I can get away without cleaning properly. I do laundry and I mispaired some socks that looked similar. I'm just trying to be annoying on purpose, or so she says. Since she wasn't happy about my cleaning and it was a constant problem, I decided to hire a professional cleaner to come once a week and do all the chores that are assigned to me. Cleaning the bathroom, living room, kitchen, windows, doing laundry, etc. Now, this doesn't mean I don't do any work around the house. I still take out the trash and clean dishes if the cleaner won't come in the next 3 days. I'll also do some handiwork required occasionally that my girlfriend doesn't know how to do. After continuing with this arrangement for 5 months, she now says this isn't fair. Because while she is cleaning and using her free time to do her chores, I just sit on my computer playing games. I told her that her chores were her responsibility and that we agreed to split 50-50. I just offloaded my work to another person. She told me that being in a relationship is about helping each other and not being petty about things. I told her that she should have applied that same mindset when I was doing the chores myself and she was complaining all the time. Am I the astronaut?
Yes and no. Because, like, what he did was he got off on a technicality, right? So he was like, all right, look, I got to do these particular chores. I'm going to take this as the interpretation of these are the chores that need to get done. Therefore, I'm going to hire somebody to do these chores so they get done. And they're being done at a professional level. So if there's any problem with how well it's gotten done, let me know, and I will talk to my employee to ensure that they improve how they do whatever the thing is, right? So on a technical level, yeah, he's covered. But you're in a relationship, and that's not how this stuff works. Because the spirit of this was you guys were splitting the chores, but you were splitting the chores as a way of saying, here's how we share the burden of the household. So what you should have done is had a conversation with her and say, look, you seem to have a problem with everything the way that I do it. Like I do it as best I know to do it. And basically that's like 90%. You wanted that 100%. And I'm not seeing what you're seeing. So let's reallocate what we're responsible for, or we need to work out what makes sense. Right. Or at least float the idea that you might hire somebody. Because if you're going to hire somebody, she might want to get in on that. And now you hire somebody who does all the chores. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, I just don't like, I say it from time to time. I don't like when people basically act like cowards, right? Like talk to your partner, man. I mean, for real, if you got a problem, talk to the person you with. Why are you hiding from your lady, man? Come on, dude, for real. Be real with her. And she's right. That was petty. It was petty. You were justified. You can get away with it, but you know what you was doing. So she called you on it. You know, that's my thoughts on it.
Look, the only thing I can add is, yeah, you were technically correct, but you were emotionally vacant. And that seems to be what she's reacting to. Is it as far as, are you in... Honestly, it's not thinking. It's not thinking it through, and talk more with your partner. That is pretty straightforward. I don't know why we're sometimes afraid to face up with our partner to have these things. I don't know.
Yeah, why are you
Because
with
it
somebody
doesn't
you
get
can't
done a
talk to?
lot. Sorry?
I said, why are you with somebody you can't talk to? But the other thing
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
going to say, and it just hit me, was like, this is similar to you both, when y'all got together, you were both, you know, getting it out the mud, right? Like, you know, she's going to work every day, grinding it out. You going to work every day, grinding it out. But then she gets an inheritance. And so she now takes the money, invests it into like the market or something. And so now she's replaced her income with like dividends or interest payments. And the same amount of money is coming in. Same amount of money is coming in. She has 100% replaced her income. So the household didn't suffer at all. But now she hires somebody to do all the things that she normally did around the house. So you, though, still got to get up every morning and go to work at a job you hate. And you have to get up while this other joker is laying in the bed. She knocked out sleep. You done got up and go play video games. You're justified. You had the same commitment. This amount of money comes in, this amount, right? But it's kind of hard to look at them. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's resentment, there's an emotional quotient that still exists. You know, I don't know. It's just kind of like, you know, you could be technically right and emotionally wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all ain't gonna like me then, because here we go.
Okay.
OP is technically right, and I agree with everything both of you said. The communication between these two sucks, and I'm using it loosely because it don't sound like there's any communication going on at all. But from the communication that I'm having, I'm sick of the girlfriend getting mad just for the sake of getting mad. Now, you got mad because he wasn't cleaning to your standards. Okay, got it. OP, it did sound like you was halving a lot of your stuff, dude. Sorry. I couldn't.
He kind of said he was, didn't he?
Yeah, it's just I couldn't pick up exactly. This is like the third time I couldn't pick up what he said about the socks. I'm like, well, you can't get socks wrong. I'm not getting how you get socks is the. But anyway, my point is, it's a lack of communication, and it's more of negative emotional tit for tat that's going on between you two, instead of sitting there and talking it out. And that's going to fester the more that y'all just don't sit down and discuss what's going on. So, yeah, emotionally, you are the a-hole. Technically, you know me. I love petty to a certain extent. I don't like petty just for the sake of petty. That ain't me. But if you get on people's nerves long enough and they do something petty back to you, hey, it's time to taking the high road sometimes, buddy.
But you know, in the story, Marlon, because you mentioned tit for tat and you said like the high road, but I didn't hear where she was doing anything. Like,
She just
her being picky about the fridge being dusty, yeah, it's a little much, but that's how she is. Like, it's like that wasn't her, to what I picked up. That wasn't her being petty. That was her being picky. And his response
was to be petty.
was low-key ingenious, but also emotionally vacant, like Anna said, right? Like, so it's like he's the only one doing petty. Like, in this whole thing, he's the only one doing petty.
If I didn't come off correctly, I meant him. I didn't mean her.
Oh, okay.
I just think she replaced her talking, her communication skill with anger. Now she replacing the anger with resentment. Not
a lot of times there's something behind that, and I know it can seem like a game to try to figure out what are they trying to communicate, but somebody who is not good at communication comes at it in ways that they are taught, and a lot of times at home, this is what they see. These kind of games that fish around, swim around the actual point, the reason that something's going off. I mean,
yeah,
I don't know. It's just, it sounds like something else is going on.
It sounds to me like he's like being told what to do. He doesn't mind helping, but he didn't grow up like white glove treatment cleaning, right? He grew up
Okay,
clean,
yeah,
right? Make it clean. You told me to do the dishes. I'm gonna do the dishes. I'm gonna wipe the counter, and I'm gonna wipe the stove. I might sweep the floor. I'm done. And then you grew up. All right, we're gonna make sure the baseboards are clean, and we gotta make sure we vacuum underneath and behind the refrigerator. And
she definitely has the obsessive compulsive. If she's not diagnosed with it, she has traits of it. And okay, if you were, and tell me if I got this wrong from the story, if you were going to get a professional cleaner, would you only have them do your chores? None?
Yes.
No, that's the petty part. That is him being childish and trying to make a point. Like, it's like he's trying to make some kind of backhanded point, like you were saying. Like, it's the only reason you would do that. Because otherwise you would have said, hey, I'm thinking about doing X. And then y'all can argue about that. Like, she might not want another woman or another man in her house touching her stuff. Right? So you have it out up front. It's like if you're gonna go, you need another car in the household. You got one car. Okay. You can be technically right and go get another car. But you have a partner. You should say, hey, I think we should go ahead and get another car. I can afford to do it out of what I have. So it won't cost you anything. But what do you think we should get? Or what do you think about this car? Right? Like, even if at the end of the day, you're going to make the final decision, invite your partner into the discussion.
Right.
Like, I don't know why that's so hard for people.
I did have a problem with this. Why did it take her 5 months to bring this up, though?
What do you mean?
Because she said 5 months later, she told me she had a problem with me bringing a cleaner into the house to do my part of the chores. Like,
both of them don't have the best communication skills, but I mean, I it's kind of like, I don't know how I put it. When is the right time? Because when he hired this person, he didn't tell her this person was coming. So she now has to work through, am I overreacting? Is this resentment? Is this anger? Is this disrespect? Right? She's got to work through those. And some people, it'll happen the moment it flashes, right? Like, oh, thank you for coming. You have a nice day, Bill. Right? Like, some people will be like that, but some people, it'll sit on them, right? And 5 months is what it took,
Yeah. That's not so unusual with
People who suck at communicating.
Well, it's not even just that. That's a
It's
part
not
of it.
just
But the
that.
other,
It's
if you're
taking in for account she has some kind of condition that is greatly affecting her ability to function
well, see now,
i-
I'm going to
in
push
her
just a cut
relationship, I guess.
on that one, Anna, because I know what you because you touched on it about the OCD tendencies, right? Not
Hmm.
necessarily saying that you're diagnosing her with it, just saying she has like tendencies.
Yeah,
Um,
I am not qualified.
but some people are just really, really big on cleanliness. Like that's just like they grew up with a mom who was
Like, I wouldn't want
super,
dust around my food in my
yeah,
fridge,
right.
And I
Or
think
maybe one time, because the only reason you know about these things because it's happened. The refrigerator got dusty, caught fire, and burnt the house down. And your uncle then lost his house, right? You don't know the person's backstory, right? So
right?
there's a lot that could have got, fussed at constantly or got spankings or whatever for not cleaning well enough, or she may just be a germaphobe, or she may be OCD, or she
Right?
may just be a control freak. Like any of those could be
Hmm.
at play, and you should know your partner because if you living with this person long enough to marry him, or even if you didn't live with them before, if you whatever, but you're married to this person, so you're with them all the time, you pick up on the different little tendencies. He knew what he was doing. he knew full well what he was doing.
all right, everybody, let's go on ahead and get into the next story. Too old for date night.
I have 6 daughters, 16, 13, 9, 6, 4, and 4. Whoa. The 16-year-old and 13-year-old are from my first marriage. Money has been pretty tight for the past few years, but I think the cutoff for daddy-daughter date nights should be like 12 or 13 anyway. I took the 13-year-old on a date night a few months back and told her that this would be the last date night, and she hasn't spoken to me since. The 16-year-old called me recently to tell me that she had gotten her driver's license and also a job as a ride operator at an amusement park. She said that she wanted to take me out to a daddy-daughter night, which included us going to the amusement park where she worked. I love rides, and because she works there, she gets to go on all of the rides for free. I told her that her half-sisters would love to come, and she said, maybe they can come another time, but I kind of wanted this night to be just the two of us. I told her that I appreciated the offer, but she was too old to be doing daddy-daughter nights alone anymore. Bro, what are you doing? She now has younger sisters, and it's their turn for me to spend time with them. There it is. It's blood pressure. She said, okay, and hung up pretty abruptly. I thought that was over and that she understood. But then my ex-wife called me, demanding to know what I said to our daughter because she had been in her room crying for hours now. I told her that our daughter wanted to take me out on a date night, but I thought she was too old for that. She said that I was an asshole and that she was going to tell everybody that I was an asshole if I didn't accept our daughter's offer. I again refused, and she made a rant on her social media and sent me the screenshots of all the people commenting that I was an asshole and that it's never too old to go on a date night. I agree, between spouses. I take my wife out to date nights, but at some point between a parent and a child, it just gets weird. Grabbing a quick lunch together when they're adults is one thing, but having a whole date night when they're teenagers is a different story. They need to be independent. Go hang out with your friends, not with your father. Dude, what are you doing? So am I the asshole, or do you guys understand what I'm saying? My ex-wife's screenshots are obviously biased, so I decided to come here instead of posting a rant on my social media and making it a public spectacle for our whole family to see.
Dude, what?
Huh?
So he felt like daddy-daughter date night was a task. That's what this was. Because, hey, I'm a dad. I'm a girl dad. I need to do daddy-daughter date nights. We thought about it. We never got around to it because, money ain't always where I wanted to be. But he's got to have some of the lowest EQ ever, right? Like, what you think of something is not what the other person thinks of it. So obviously your daughter does not live with you. So she lives with your ex-wife. That dynamic alone changes things because every moment she spends with you, when you have a teenager who wants to spend time with you, you have a teenager that wants to spend time with you. She doesn't get to live with you. That means she adores you. And then She's trying to hold on to some semblance of her childhood and her relationship to her father. And you were like, nah, you too old now. Dude.
Oh,
Dude. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that poor girl's heart.
You know what's so funny to me, OP? And it just dawned on me. It is so amazing that the only two people that you said is too old are the two kids from the first marriage. So you're done with them.
no.
Oh, please. I'll give
You're
you an
saying that they're
example.
teenagers.
I'll give you the prime example of the BS this dude is doing. I
Mm.
have 2 dinner nights with 2 different people from my past dinner. I just haven't called on those markers yet. One of them is my 25 turning 26-year-old daughter. Now, if my 26-year-old daughter could take her dad out to dinner for his birthday, which, sorry, dude, I have no idea why every time you go out with your daughters to go places is a date. I don't know where you getting this from.
Well, the date thing?
I
Here's why.
have no.
I'll tell you why from my angle. This is why it's called a date. I believe, and my wife believes, and my ex-wife believes, that as the father of girls, I am the prime example of what a man is, what a relationship looks like, and what it should feel like to be protected and loved, right? So I take them out from time to time. We just don't call it daddy-daughter date. We call it daddy-daughter day or something like that. But it wouldn't matter if it was a daddy-daughter date. I don't care, because you're teaching them what it's supposed to be, the level of conduct, the just, that whole thing, right? Because at the end of the day, if they choose a man to be in their life, you would like that man to be of a particular caliber. And the best way for them to know what is good and not good is for you to represent what's good, right? That's why I would think he would call it a date, right? Because now I'm about to take this on. I'm sorry, I've been slacking. You know what I'm saying? But no, definitely daddy-daughter date. Shoot, yeah. Get dressed in your business casual, nice kind of clothes, and go out to eat. And I open the door for you, and we sit at the table, and you order what you want, and I make sure that if you leave the table, I stand up, and just all of just the little things.
Right, showing your girl respect, love. The thing that I'd like him to sit and think and unpack with himself a bit here is that once they became a teenager, to him, it felt weird. Did it feel a little bit too real? A little bit too much towards a date? Why did he then not, change the name, change the... if he was truly uncomfortable? Your girl was asking for time, just you and her, and you shot her down. Of course she was in there crying. My heart broke for her, and hers must have shattered. And this one, you've got work to do, man.
If you want to,
Huh?
because he's really coming off as he's not doing anything wrong.
True.
That's what I was saying. I think he has really low EQ, like emotional intelligence, right? Because
I would agree. Yep.
Yeah.
I didn't get from the story he doesn't love his daughter. I get from the story that he's emotionally stupid. Like, that's what I get from it. And then you got the whole, obviously, him and his ex-wife do not have a good relationship. They do. Ooh.
It's whatever that is that weird encompasses, whether it is that he is now having to relate with his kind of old life, his first wife, like Marlon was saying, whether it is something that he's somehow letting get sexual, and it shouldn't be sexual. To him, this weirdness, it should not be there. There should be nothing weird about a father taking his daughter out, no matter what age she is.
Right. Right. That's your child for the rest of your life. And I want to spend as much time. And I didn't get to say my middle child is downstairs right now. She came all the way to see us. I'm not gonna sit there and go, look, you already got your own place, so I don't know why you coming all the way down here just to sit at it. No, I want to see my babies. I want to see all my babies all the time. We got a dinner, Mother's Day dinner next Saturday. All the mothers, all the children, all the grandchildren. Why? Because we want to see each other. And dude, it just really sounds like you don't want to, because I don't know. She is
then
asking
he'll
you,
do it in a certain circumstance, and just why?
What is the circumstance though? That's what I can't.
That all the children get together, like.
Okay, yes. Because I guarantee you, if the older daughter would have said, "Sure, bring the half siblings," then you'd have showed up. But because she wanted to stay in one-on-one with you, no, that's doing too much.
The way I took that part
It's hard being one of six, right?
No, I mean the way I took that was, yeah, he's spread thin. You got 6 kids, but dude, you're dead to yourself. But the way I took it was more of, he thinks at a certain age they don't need him the same way that they did before. So it's not that he doesn't love all of them. It's not that he doesn't want to spend time with them. It's just that he viewed that to be a phase thing, right? So in the younger ages, it's this phase. In the next phase, we do this. And then in the next phase, we do this, right? So like when she gets married, he's going to back off completely and he'll be there if she calls, right? Like that's different. People have different ways of approaching these things. So on a level, it's fine. Like everything was fine. It was just that interaction, right? And then there's another angle that Marlon, you just brought up that I hadn't even considered. He could be trying to force something into the mix that doesn't exist right. You know what I'm saying? Like he could be trying to blend the kids together, and the kids may or may not have issues. We don't know. We didn't get that from the story, but he could be trying to blend the kids together. And the daughter wasn't against it. She was saying, okay, fine, but this was me and you, right? So like this time I just want to treat you because you've always treated me. I'm finally in a position that I can do something for my daddy, right? That was this. And then 2 weeks later, yeah, y'all come on, let's have a family thing, right? But first I want to share this moment in my life, this transitional point in my life with you, right? And he's just too stupid. And I feel for the new wife because this joker, I don't have much faith that he taking her out either.
I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go on to the next story. There's we can catch Anna up. Yelling at my wife. I want y'all to pay attention because again, this is one of those videos where I try to tell people when people don't tell the whole story. This is one of them, these Reddit stories where they don't tell the whole story.
I did post this on relationship subreddit, but I know they tend to stick up for women more, so I wanted to post here as well to get a more unbiased opinion. A few nights ago, I was completing something for work in my office while my wife was cooking dinner when she comes into my office with a jar to open, which is a regular occurrence, and she finds it difficult most of the time. Plus, I like opening them for her. I'm not bothered, except for tonight because I needed time to finish what I was doing and not be disturbed. When I told her I needed to not be disturbed, she pleaded again that it would only take a second. It made me extremely annoyed that she wasn't listening to me, and not proud of it, of course. I yelled at her to get out of my face and my office, and a few more things that I don't really want to repeat because it makes me feel guilty. She left immediately, abandoned dinner plans, and just ordered in takeout. I apologized the next morning after she avoided me the whole night, and she seemed fine, addressing that she shouldn't have bothered me and should have left immediately when I said no. Now she never lets me help her with anything. If she needs something heavy lifted, she'll do it herself no matter how long it takes. She's moved important things from the top shelf to the bottom, so she doesn't need to ask me to get them. She's learned how to open bottles and jars by herself without my help. The last straw for me was when she opened a bottle of wine by putting it in a shoe and tapping it against the wall since she can't use a bottle opener. I questioned as to why she never asked for my help when she obviously needed it. She said that the incident we had got her thinking that she needed to be more self-reliant and that my being unavailable all the time was unrealistic. And that my being available all the time was unrealistic and needed to learn that now. I assumed she was still upset over my yelling at her and let her be, but it's still irritating me a lot. How can I assure my wife that she really can rely on me for things she can't do and that she's not alone? I've tried talking to her, but she absolutely won't budge, and I think she's still holding resentment from what happened. OP revealed in comments what he felt guilty about saying to his wife. Finally, because I was going to say, you can't really ask for our opinion here of what happened if you're not telling us everything that happened. Comment from Redditor in response to OP. You wouldn't open a jar for your pregnant wife who was cooking you dinner and called her a see you next Tuesday and a biatch? What? Hold on. Where do you get off yelling at anyone like that, let alone your wife? Time out, let alone your pregnant wife. Boop. And honestly, good for her for realizing it's easier to do shit by herself instead of possibly facing your wrath. Maybe this was a one-time thing, but check your temper because nothing you were doing in your office is worth making someone you supposedly love feel bad.
Let me start off real quick on this one. There is, and I try not to project on these stories so much, but I guarantee, dude, there was nothing you was doing in that office that was so important that you act like that. Nothing. It takes how many seconds to open a jar? A jar. And you just went nuclear. You just chose hate. And then you want to come and you feel bad. I'm going to tell you exactly what this wife is doing. What this wife is doing is she told you what she was doing. She said in a nice way, but she told you what she was doing. She's going out of the way to make sure she'll never need you anymore for anything. Now, either it could be, it could be for the fact that she's getting herself ready to be a one-man army, her and a child, or the fact that she just don't feel like hearing your mouth anymore every time she asks you to do something. And it's just easier just to learn to do stuff on her own. But I'm so two-pronged upset with you on two things. One, for what you did. But two, I can't stand people like you who come on Reddit or the internet or Facebook or TikTok or everything else and play the effing victim. That really pisses me off. If you had the balls to say everything that you said to this woman, own it. Now you coming on here, she won't let me help her. Wonder why, bro. Also wonder why, and I'm not going to repeat what I said because it makes me feel bad. The hell with your feelings. Because you haven't even said anything about her feelings at all through this whole thing. You notice through this whole little tirade, this little tantrum that you throw it, you ain't said one damn thing about her feelings, how that made her feel. It's all about you, how it made you feel, how you feel bad. You don't want to repeat what you said because it makes you feel bad. How now she's doing stuff on her own, so it's gonna make you feel. That's making you feel bad. Me. And I'm here to tell you, I don't give a damn about your feelings. So the only thing that I have against Dusty, and it's not against, I just don't like when people, especially your pregnant wife. It don't matter if you're pregnant or not. You don't say that to your wife. Me and Foxy have had dragged out fights. Dragged out. Two things will never happen in that fight. Number one, we will never call each other out their name. Period. If that happens, the fight's over. Do not call each other out their name. Number two, and it works sometimes, not to raise your voice. I say it sometimes. All right. I should hell ain't gonna say I'm perfect on it, buddy. Dude, God's still working on me, buddy. I'm sure I ain't gonna lie to you. But bruh, you wound up in this one thing, one small incident, did both. Raise your voice and call her out of the name for coming to you about a jar. Because you was working on what? National security documents? You was talking to the UE. Please explain to me what the hell was so important. And you won't, because it took an act of Congress just to get you to tell everybody what the hell you said. So I know you ain't gonna tell everybody what was so important.
Yeah, big thing.
You're a coward.
Yeah, I don't that the jar was the issue at all. So like that is almost irrelevant. Like it was just the thing at that moment. He is one shade short of an abuser off of the story alone.
Oh,
Yeah.
He definitely does not respect her. That's the big piece, because that he would have blown up that way if it wasn't a jar. He would have blown up, and he would have blown up that way no matter what it was, because what the issue was she was interrupting him, and she apparently doesn't have the authority or the right to interrupt him. I've seen guys like this, right? That it's you stepped out of your place at my convenience, and that made me mad. And when I get mad, I go Hulk mad. I go to level 12 angry, right? And that's a dangerous person. Hey, Afra. It's dangerous person to be around or anything, because that person doesn't have control of their emotions. And I was saying before we got started, be careful when you teach somebody how to live without you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You be careful, right? You might not like that you always have to do this or that or the third. But when you start offloading those things to that person, you're teaching them you could do this yourself and don't count on me, right? And that's dangerous, dude. Now the other thing I'm saying, I for real, man, it's got to be a cultural thing. Before the Trump MAGA era, I had never even heard of a woman being referred to by the C word. I had to learn what the C word was from white folk. I did not know this. Like in our community, I guess the equivalent was the B word, right? But not the C word, right? I was like, what are they saying? What is the C word? And then they were like, we'll see you next Tuesday. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
man, you don't know how long it took me to figure that out.
It was only in this MAGA era. This is the only way I learned about it.
Really? Wow. That's something I've known my whole life.
I've never heard that. Never. So it was like you calling a woman by a derogative of her genitalia.
Mm-hmm. It's like calling an indigenous woman a squaw. It's
Well, see, I didn't know that was an equivalent. See,
I
to
didn't know
me,
that
I
either.
thought the squaw was just an indigenous term. And I wouldn't
Nope.
even have thought it was offensive. I wouldn't use it because I don't have no use for it. But that term, though, like I just can't, like why?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of dudes being called the P word because
Yeah.
you're emasculating him by doing this, right? That's one of the deeper insults in our community. PAN, you know what I'm saying, Marlon?
Oh, I know.
Lay out my face, yo, right? So I knew that, but I didn't even know there were terms like that for women other than the B word or calling somebody a hoe. Like those are the two I knew. So it's like, dude, I couldn't even imagine.
Wow.
Right, about 10 years ago. I had never heard of this before that.
Wow.
Let me read this real quick because I know Anna can't read it on her phone. I learned
Thank
that
you.
word like 10 or 15 years ago, but I didn't hear / know about it before in only a handful of times. I knew about it for a long time, but to me, and Theas, I'm agreeing with you. I didn't know why it affected the white community as much as the B word affect the black community, because calling somebody a B word in the black community is actually you calling them a female dog. So you're not even calling them something human. So I get that term of disrespect. Like you're literally calling them a pet.
Yeah, it attacks the fact that we had to fight for our humanity. So you have, and plus that was one of the terms that white people use against our women, right?
A human called me that like a year of mine a half ago, and I was appalled. A human called you this?
Yeah, she's just being nice. She's just being nice.
This human. Okay.
But no, it's like it's crazy. But when you explain it in that light, now I kind of get what you just said, Marlon. Helped me trigger, right? Because the B word for us dates all the way back into slavery. It's dehumanizing. It's calling them basically a pet. It's all these horrible things, and then the C word, I have to assume from just inferences, for women, you are reducing that woman to her ability to reproduce. She is nothing more than a vessel for your convenience. And that right there,
okay.
you see what I'm saying? Like if you look at it that way, that's why it's so insulting. We don't use that word. But we probably do now because cultures are blended so much in the last few years. It is crazy because misogyny is just like kicked off on a whole new.
Now that you say it like that, because I just never understood why that was so bad. But now that you have explained it to me, yeah, that's effing degrading. You are no better than what you can produce. That's degrading.
And that has been a huge undercurrent with the Europeans for the last decade or so, with the trad wife thing, the thing where they don't want them to have careers, the thing where we'll let you have IVF maybe, but you can't have none of the other stuff because that's inconvenient for me as a man, because you are supposed to fulfill your purpose. And in their view, a woman's purpose is to have children. And that has been a problem in our society for a long time, where a woman who does not have children would not be regarded with the same level of respect as a woman who is one, married, and two, has at least one or two kids. If she don't have that, that's why I used to see women get so depressed and so upset when they didn't have children.
Yeah.
They could have every accolade in the world. Like, look how they attack Kamala. Look how they attack Kamala. Kamala got all these
and
accolades.
she has kids,
but she didn't have biological children.
Biological, I understand.
And they would use that against her.
But just as you two had an epiphany about see you next Tuesday, I now finally understand why the B word is just as devastating, if not more. That's a personal thing. It's no, I didn't have, because B word is in the lexicon with us. We were called that all the time. But when men really wanted to dig, it went to the C word. I had no idea that wasn't used, and that you had no knowledge of that being like this. This is a big revelation to me, and I apologize. I'm having a little bit of difficulty finding the right words to underline the severity of this realization, the depth of this.
Well, I mean, the big part is, and you've heard me say it before. If you have any black friends, you should have heard this from us before. We do not live in the same world, right?
Right,
So,
right.
as black people, we live in your world. You don't live in our world.
Right.
And as much as we live in your world, we don't live all the way in your world. So there are things like, we live in your world so that we know how to survive, so we can feed our families and things like that. It's very draining for the typical black person to interact with white people in white society. It is extremely draining. I can't even put into words how draining it is, but it's still not the same as truly being there. And one thing that we have observationally about the European American folk is the dynamic between their women, right? Like, the white man historically will protect his woman, but he will protect his woman more as an asset or trophy or keepsake
Property.
than as a partner, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
how dare you touch our women? Or
My property.
it's not you're protecting her femininity or her identity. It's your attack. How dare you touch that which belongs to me?
That.
Right. And then in the black community, we suffer from a whole nother set of ills. But we will respect our women as people, but we will disrespect our women for their femininity. It's like almost an inverse. It's so bizarre, right? Like,
Can you? I'm sorry. I'm not sure I understand what you're saying.
it's about what you value. So the black woman has been with us, even if we don't fully think it through as black men. The black woman has been with us from day one. She has dealt with the same level of cruelty and barbarism as we have. It manifested in different ways, but the same thing, been with us since day one. So we had to learn to look at each other as people, right? So we will value the power, the grace, the majesty of the black woman, but at the same time disrespect her physical nature, her body, and her presence, right? It's a weird thing. It's like we honor the spirit, disrespect the body. And then on the inverse, it's like the white man, he covets the body. Ain't all that interested about the spirit and the nature of him. So it's this weird dichotomy. And at the end of the day, it's all about not believing that a woman is worthy of self-actualization. That's how I take it anyway. Because I look at other cultures and they do it in their own different way. But every single culture still comes back to the same thing of the man is able to self-actualize, but the woman is not. And here are the conditions for that woman. Right? Here's the level to which you can be great. But don't ever think you with me. Right? And each culture does it. They just do it different ways. Well, I agree with you, Afro, and I would never try to attack what you know as your own personal lived experience. But I'm saying on a general spell, that's how the way generally we engage the subject, right? I was just had a great conversation with my girls today.
Hold on one second.
Sorry, can you read it?
Yeah, let me read it first. Black men unfortunately would do that as well. Unfortunately, is we get the ultimate offense from all fronts, the most disrespect, even our spirit and body. Sorry, and
yeah, and like I said, I agree with Afro, and I was having a similar conversation with my girls today. One big part, which is a caveat that I guess always needs to be in play, but I won't always speak to it because you know how wordy I am. There are levels to everything, and there are types for everything. So if you're dealing with a low, like a lot of times you hear people say vibration, right? If you're dealing with guys who operate on a low vibration, he will disrespect every aspect of you, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It doesn't matter. He's down here. And if you go and deal with guys who operate down here, and there's more of them, there's more of them than all the other ones. So they're always bumping around and chasing and all. They're the most active group. But if you spend time with that group, then yes, you'll get all of it. And I don't care what color that man is. I don't care what background that man is. If he is a low vibrational dude, that's how he functions, right? But then if you're in that middle tier, more of your normal, I think that is where more of what I'm saying actually makes sense. White, black, whatever. But that's where you see those different cultural blends. But it's tough. It's really tough. And it's tougher for women because they have to face the physical danger of the situation. Whereas the man, we don't generally have to face the physical danger. But it's hard for everybody because everybody's trying to find that emotional connection. And so the guys are dealing with women that are not on the right wavelength with them. And then they're like, man, all they want is my money. Well, stop dealing with women who just want your money. Like, you know what I'm saying? Stop being mad that a Chevy acts like a Chevy. If you want a Mercedes, then you need to become the type of person that can afford the upkeep and the maintenance on a Mercedes and go get a Mercedes. But if you decide that you want to go get a Chevy, you are dealing with entry-level models and you're going to deal with the issues that come with the entry-level model. I'm sorry. Not to equate people to cars. I'm sorry, but I think it is.
I get what you're saying. That human that Afro was talking about that called her a See You Next Tuesday was a black man. And she said, I thankfully don't interact with people like that much, which is why I was so surprised and appalled.
Right. That's the bigger point. Yeah, I'm with you, Afro. And it's shameful because even dudes like me, we can't even intervene in those situations. Because that dude, that kind of guy, he's already crashed out. Like one of the rules that you should learn, never deal with somebody who got less to lose than you do. Yep. So the guy standing in front of the gas station acting stupid. Okay, yeah, you walk up to, hey, my brother, you should really, respect the women no matter what. Okay, catch a bullet or a brick. That's what's about to happen to you, right? Like you got to pick your moments and your times. But main thing is avoid the people who function like that. You got to don't go to that gas station. You know the gas station. Absolutely. It says way more about the person who insults you than the person who's being insulted.
Yes.
Right.
It always does. I have seen people write complete insult letters that it's a mirror where they should be looking at this. It has nothing to do with the person that they send it to.
Right. It's amazing to me how you assault and assault and assault and assault and assault and assault. And it's like you can literally stand there and look at them because you're not trying to be the bigger person. Like I've been always trying to say, it ain't you being the bigger person, it's you looking at, dude, all I asked is what time it was. It's like it's the most mundane question. And it's the other person because it's like, do you need a nap? Some milk? What is going on with you, bro? Okay, I'll just go ask somebody else. Not that big of a deal, bro. It's more about them than the person they insulted. Let's go ahead.
I'm sorry, I do have one question about the story. When he was saying he wanted to do things for her, was there any kind of like disability? Was it the pregnancy that he wanted to do things like? That's what I didn't quite get the very beginning.
No, he wants to make all of this go away and restore what he feels was, right? So like, he doesn't have a problem being the person she comes to. He doesn't have a problem having his manhood respected and appreciated. So he opens the pickle jar. He doesn't mind any of those things. It was in that moment, it was inconvenient to him, so he spazzed out on her, right? So he wants to now restore like a factory reset. So, you know, baby, I was wrong. I never should have done that. I'm so sorry. You know, but why are you still freezing me out? Why are you acting like I'm not here? Blah, 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 blah. Because you changed the rules of engagement.
Yep.
You flipped a switch in her.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right, everybody, let's go ahead and get on into the second hour with Am I the A-Hole, a Mafia video of the week from last time that we was on that I wanted Theas to see. A positive story of the week, which, so sorry, is petty, and I think petty stuff is positive. And, of course, Foxy's video of the week. 3-minute breaks to reboot and refresh, and we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned.
I could take a break from this world, running on a hamster wheel, but searching for something I can't feel. I just wanna be a lost girl and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate above the ground and make eye contact with clouds. Now I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. I always say dreaming, never imagined I lose my spark. Living in this crazy time, putting back the pieces of my mind. I know how to run from the dark and fly. Take a breath, feel my wings spread, levitate into the clouds. I'm so high above the ground, I'm rising, I'm soaring above it all. I just wanna be free. Finally, I wanna be free.
are back. Still waiting on Biz. Without further ado, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Radical Truth tomorrow. Radical Truth to Power tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time when we will do the news and review. I don't know who's doing. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Harden's website, PirelliEtc.com. Learn something that you didn't think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Diz's website, Our United Core, Communities Build Movements. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. And let's go ahead and get into the Mama Heart Hour.
Mama Heart says hi to everybody, by the way.
Hello.
No, Mama Heart. All right, the two announcements. Some changes that need to be done with the show on certain levels. Number one change. Saturday Night Vibe will be moving from 9 p.m. to 8 p.m. So that means we'll be on 1 hour earlier. So both Radical Truth to Power and Saturday Night Vibe will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, the second news, and we just have to work on this, but it's going to take a bit of work. But we're also going to see if we can shrink the show down to 2 hours apiece, period. Now, when it comes to Radical Truth to Power, I am sticking to the status quo that I am not going to rush the first hour just to get to Reddit stories. The first hour will go where it goes, and it is what it is. Now, the second hour, I could tweak that because I can get a little to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just going to skip this story. I'm going to skip this story. We're just going to get to this, and we'll talk about this, and that'll take up the second hour. But either way, it's going to take a little bit to get to it, but we're going to try to work this show down to at least 2 hours. 2 and some change at the most. So, but no more 2.5, 3 hour shows. So, those are the changes. Like I said, not that big of a deal. I apologize for anybody that this will inconvenience, but personal things have changed what we need to do on this show, and that's the least thing that I can think of. So, it just won't affect a lot of people.
We are Gen X. We need to be in bed by 9:30.
But that's all. So that will be starting. That will be starting next week. So obviously, since we came on at 9 o'clock. Okay, don't star Parker. And Javier was rehired. Don't. Hey Parker, no.
Wow.
Hey Parker, just tuned in.
Parker.
This is random, but was curious since today was big here in Kentucky for the Derby. What is something that if hardly anyone outside of our state actually cares about watching the race each year?
So first of all, I have never once watched the Kentucky Derby. I could care less about horse racing. Like, let's go ahead and throw that one out there. But to answer Parker's question, because I'm anecdotal, there are subsets of different communities who do, and different states that do. So, like, the Kentucky Derby is a really big deal in the Black sorority and fraternity space. I don't get it, but they're doing it mainly because of the seersucker style, and it's a chance to kind of show off your new clothes, and they kind of emulate that country club race track genteel type of thing. So it's a really big deal for them. They just had the Alpha Derby, which coincides with the Kentucky Derby, which is where I don't even know if they watched the race, but I know it's tied to that. So yeah, I know that exists, but I have never once had somebody, hey man, turn the TV to channel 43, man. The Derby's on. No, I've never.
I grew up pretty close to the Belmont track on Long Island. And lucky enough that every year when the Belmont Stakes would come in, which is another big horse racing thing, I don't follow it much either. But my parents' band was every year the entertainment. So I got to go and I got to see the most beautiful horses. I don't like horse racing. I don't like, but I do love horses. And to be able to be just that close to those beautiful animals, I was happy as a kid. But more my own personal values, I do not like the horse racing and how quick horses fall out of that.
Yeah. You know the thing about it, I didn't think about this. Here's one positive about horse racing. It's an excellent job market for short, skinny guys. You know, a lot of times if you're short as a man, you know, people ain't really checking for you too much. But if you are short and skinny and lightweight and talented,
you can tuck yourself up on a horse.
Jockey.
Yeah.
There you go. It's helping to keep jobs in America.
It fulfills jobs.
LOL, girl, I passed at a racetrack to go to school in a far Rockaway. Never went. I ride horses, though.
You know, the thing about horses, I thought I liked horses. I don't dislike horses, but I thought I liked horses. Like, they're, you know, until I found out them dang things bite. And that just ruined it for me. Like, that, it legit ruined everything for me.
Never had a horse bite me.
I know horses kick.
Mm-hmm.
I know, you know, and I know they're tall and they're really big. But the horse mainly will kick if, one, it's uncomfortable, two, it feels like it's being abused, or three, it's don't feel like being bothered. And you went and got in the wrong place and the horse kicked you. I get it. But a horse biting, that's a big head and a big mouth, man.
Big teeth.
I can't. I just cannot. I was like,
I don't even know why I even know this trivia thing about horses. I don't know. I have no idea. Never walk up to a horse from behind.
Yes, correct. Always let them know that you are there.
That is what spooks them.
You ain't got to worry about it. I ain't walking up on you from behind, in front, from the side. To me, a horse is a 400, 500-pound dog. I'm not, and I might be understating the weight. I'm not coming up on no.
One of my first memories, I grew up pretty close to a place where you could keep your horse for months out of the year, and they gave horseback riding lessons. I was lucky enough that the person let me kind of help clean out the stalls, and because I wasn't rich enough for lessons, but I did get to ride the horse. I loved it. I have never had a horse bite me.
Hey, I ain't never had a horse bite me either, but you know what? He ain't gonna get a chance to. And I ain't never been bit by an alligator, but you know what ain't gonna happen? I ain't gonna get bit by no alligator. I tell you that. But you know, it's funny. I was a guy. I respect him as a person, even though I don't really rock with him too much now because he voted for that dude. But despite being such a decent person, he still, you know what I'm saying? Cultural things is why he ended up being wrapped up in that. But he was like trying to relate to me because, you know, he was like, man, I grew up poor and I ain't really have this, and and he was telling me some of the stories, and I'm sitting here like, damn, dude, because I ain't grow up poor. So yeah, you had it bad, right? You know what I'm saying? Well, he was like trying to relate to me and stuff because he's got kids, I got kids. And he's like, yeah, and then my daughter, we got her on, she does horse competitions and stuff like that. And I'm like, we are not living the same life, sir.
No.
Okay.
That's expensive.
Because I don't, you said that's expensive because you got to own the horse. Then you got to board the horse. If you don't have your own place to keep it, you got to board the horse. So you paying for that too. Then you got the lessons. Then you got the competitions. Man, we do not live the same life.
The outfit.
Income couldn't even come close, bro.
Oh.
I'm trying to put my kids in swimming lessons. You talking about horse riding? Yeah, it's a whole different kind of poor, ain't it?
People poor be different.
I'm saying a lot of times, man, their poor be like conditionally similar.
Yeah.
Right.
I could never dream of that.
Right. Conditionally similar. Didn't have nothing to eat. Didn't have the nicest things, But somewhere in your family circle, somebody own land. I can tell you, ain't nobody got none. Right. Somewhere in the lines, you got an inheritance. If the right person kick off and they like you enough, your whole life can change. You can go get a job and they give you a shot because you remind them of themselves when they were younger or something. Like there's a lot of like those little things. This is where like, and I get it. I get why white people get so offended when you talk about white privilege because it's never couched in enough of it's not fulsome enough when you're talking about it, because if you equate white privilege just to being privileged, like you got money, then you miss the boat on a lot of things, right? So now you talking to somebody who literally grew up poorer than you did, and you calling them privileged.
Yeah.
Right. But what they don't get is life is hard for everybody, but your life isn't harder because of your color. That's a privilege. But yeah, it's cool. But nah, me and horses, man, they cool. They just need to stay over there.
It was funny watching the Derby and see rich people all get rained on, not gonna lie.
Man. Trying to dress like, and it's funny because the clothes that they're wearing, the seersucker suits and the lace and all that, I look at that and I think of the slave holder or the plantation owner sitting on the porch drinking lemonade and julep tea. That makes me mad. I don't look at that and be like, yeah, I want to dress like that.
Okay, so the thing is, so like my cousin married white. They both had low paid jobs, but parents gave them a house that was in the family somehow. It wasn't fancy, but paid off.
Exactly. We ain't living in the same world. You know what I'm saying? Like, here's one difference. Like, and this is a lot of for if you got any of you guys out there, if you happen to come across this video and you mean well and everything like that, but like you got a black or a Latino coworker, and you think that y'all are really coming from the same place. You both went to the same university. You both got the same degree. You both got the same job. Look at us. We're doing the same thing. Okay, one, you probably don't have the same salary, but you might. Your company might have started you both off at the same salary. But if you were able to go to college and you don't have a whole bunch of student debt sitting on you, y'all ain't on the same page. Because your coworker's salary is diluted by the fact that his parents didn't have equity to pull out of their house to help offset some of his college expenses. That's a difference. Or you might get advancement opportunities faster. Not because there's anything wrong with you, but because there's something wrong with the system. You're both working hard, but you're not experiencing or encountering the system the same way. So you may find yourself moving up, and in the way you'll feel is like, I worked hard for this. And yes, you did. But there's a lot of people who worked hard too, but they're just not in the selection pool because they don't stroke the fancy of the people who get to make that decision. Like there's so many layers to it, but if you allow people to draw it all down to dollars and cents, a lot of the story gets missed. So like I don't know if I'm sure there's plenty out there, not enough of them, but I don't know of anybody who was like, yeah, here's a house. Because giving somebody a house is not just giving them a house. Okay. There's land that came with that house. There's an asset that house represents. That they can sell that house, rent that house, refinance that house. There's so many ways that they can extract value from that house that somebody who can barely afford to live in an apartment just cannot relate to. But yeah, I don't know. But that's because I'm happy for your sibling and their spouse, because if somebody's able to do something nice for their children, then that's great.
Yeah. All right, everybody, let's move on to Am I the A-hole? I love this story so much, and I'll tell you why at the end. But here it is. Drop my brother off.
My older brother is a bit of a bum. It's mean to say, but it's true. He can never hang on to a job for longer than a couple of years max. When he inevitably loses whatever job he had and starts mooching off family and friends until he can find another job months later. This entails him freeloading at their place, eating their food, using their stuff, etc. He's lost friends because of how long he bummed off them, and I don't blame them for cutting him off. Well, the last time he lost his job, he went to stay at our parents', but they didn't have room for him because they were letting our other brother's family stay with them after he and his wife lost both their jobs out of nowhere within the same month. Our oldest brother and his family just couldn't afford another home, so my lazy older brother was out of luck. After that, my parents, aunt, and uncle all started calling me, asking if I would take him in just long enough for him to get back on his feet. I stupidly let myself feel bad for him and said okay, but I only gave him a few months to get another job or he was out on the street. They all agreed, so of course he came to stay with me. And it's been a nightmare. He's a slob. He never washes dishes, never washes clothes, and eats pretty much whatever he wants. I guess that since I'm his little sister, he figured that he could ignore me when I told him to get his act together. Well, after 6 months, I told him that he had to go. I gave him a couple of weeks to find somewhere else to live. Well, it seems that my brother called our parents and cried about me kicking him out, and they told him that he knew that he couldn't stay forever, but they of course called my aunts and uncle and told them all about it. Then my busybody aunt called me and scolded me for being cruel to my brother and abandoning family when they need help. I let her talk, and I finally said that she was right. Helping family is important, and I'm glad that she showed me that. She seemed glad that I understood the right thing to do before hanging up. So I followed her advice, packed my brother up, and drove him to her house. I couldn't handle him running up my bills anymore, but my aunt made a good point. Families should help each other out. So I dropped him off there and left. I wasn't even halfway home before I was getting multiple calls from my parents and aunt. My parents were demanding to know why our aunt was blowing up their phones, and my aunt was leaving voicemails shouting at me to come back and get my brother. I explained to my parents, and they said that it was a good idea since my aunt sounded like she wanted to help. But my aunt called me a butthole and said that she didn't want my brother there. And when I told her that family helps each other out, she called me a grunt. Last time I checked, my brother is still living with her. Am I the butthole?
First, I'm going to go with real and nah. And I'm going to go nah. Second.
Nah?
Yeah, I'm going to say nah. Just because the way the story, it was just way too storytelling-ish. But let's just say it's real. Let's say it's real. Nah, you're not the butthole. You are... You slick. That's what you are. you basically like dropped your brother off at the fire station. You're like, oh, you're right, Aunt Vicky. You're right. Family should take care of each other. Yes. And we are family. Yes. You have a good night now. Like,
and I knew that as soon as that line came out, I'm like, yep, Auntie's getting them.
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, you take a bow. You are great.
I love this story so much because some of the stories that I listen to, I always do this. The guy who's reading this, Davis, says this all the time too. And I mean, at a certain point, he started getting mad because at the end, he just starts screaming it. Every time somebody says that you should do this and you should do that for family, well, then why don't you do it? And we're all family. And I thought the same thing because it's like, and it's not just this, it's to keep the peace because we family. You can talk, oh, it's a second hour. You can talk shit to me, but I can't talk shit to you because now I hurt your feelings, but you ain't have to hurt. I need to be the bigger person. Why do we need to be like that? Because we family. Please explain this to me, Theus. When the fuck did the family part cut off that?
You know, the family was only involved up to the point of arranging your living conditions. After that, they were done because there wasn't no comment about the mom and the dad and the aunts and the uncles and the cousins and wasn't no comment about they all send me $100 a month to help with my brother's living expenses while he's staying with me. That didn't happen. Didn't happen one bit. Didn't say anything about when he stays with me during the week, but on the weekend he stays with our parents. Didn't say nothing about that. You know, family's real helpful with getting it over there. Ooh, come on, man. Really?
Oh, good Jesus.
One second, y'all. I'm gorgeous, but y'all shouldn't have to like, you know.
Let me read these messages then. I missed some of the beginning, but the aunt said that they need to take care, so she let her take care. Yeah. He's younger Serbian to the aunt, not the younger sister, right?
Oh, he's sloppy at that house too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure he's sloppy anywhere he lives.
Yeah, thank you. That's what they were saying was he's a moocher. He mooches off of everybody until they get rid of them, and now he gets a job. He stays there for a year or two. He loses a job. And that's one thing. That's one thing that you ain't got a job. It's another thing that, bro, you stayed in somebody's house and you can't wash your own damn clothes. You can't clean up behind yourself. You eat up all the food. You have no job, so you can't be giving no money. And you eating up all the food. What the hell are you hungry for? You ain't doing nothing. So what are you hungry for? Because it's not your food, which means it's not your money.
The safety net. He's got that safety net. Yeah. And you know, every family's got one like this. At least from my experience, every family got one. It might not be one of your siblings, but it'll be one of your cousins. It'll be somebody. Somebody thinks that they're gonna get mom and dad's house through osmosis. Somebody thinks that the world owes them something. There's always somebody who is betting on their potential and never putting forth any action. Always.
And those are the people, and I'm not giving them an out, Theo. I'm not, and I'm not giving them an out. But these are the people who have families like that, though. That's the baby, or that's the brightest, or he was so sweet. It's always, I never had that family. You want to eat, you better get your ass out there and work.
But what happens?
My daughter actually, it ain't even petty. I'm not even gonna call it petty. It's just always been funny to me. Because normally when you would say, okay, you know, you're 15, you're 16, you need to go out there and get some work experience, work at McDonald's, work at everything else. My oldest daughter didn't start off like that. It literally didn't even start off as my wife said, you know, you need to go get some work experiences, things like that. It started off as, okay, look, I'm not paying for your nails to be done every 2 weeks and all this other stuff. So you need to figure it out. In 1 week, she done found her a job. And done had a job everywhere since.
I mean, that's how my dad got me.
Daycare. That's somebody who like, I want something, so I'm going to work to get it.
But there's a process to that though. There's a process to that. And like what you were saying, like there's like, well, you know, there's usually, it's not always the smartest kid, it's not always the dumbest kid. It's always the one, it could be smart, it could be dumb, there could be any number of layers of intelligence and whatever. But it's just that one that figured out the cheat code. They figured out that I can endure more pain than you are willing to see me in.
Yep.
Right. And they play that card. Right. Oh, he just never could quite get right. You know, I mean, you have so much, your brother doesn't have as much, you know, just help him out. Right. They learned how to play in it, and they're willing to deal with less to have more than what they deserve. Right. Those people are all, you know, they're all over the place. One rule is don't let them in your house.
Yep.
Right. You know what? I'm gonna pay for you. I got you for a week at the hotel. Well, I can't come stay with you because I ain't got it, bro. I don't let nobody stay in my house.
Let me piggyback on what you just said. The first thing you do is don't let them in the house. You know the people you don't let in your house. You know by now. You know by now. Especially if you grew up with them. You know. Half the time you don't even want them over for family vacations. Or family parties. Or family get-togethers. Or to cut the grass. You just don't want them over there. You don't even want them on your sidewalk looking at your house. That's
hard times visit people at unscheduled times. You know, and that's where the family should rally together, you know, to help to some extent. Even the can't get right family member. Your family, you don't give up on your family, but you also don't allow yourself to become a victim. Like, you say that from the porch. Call me from mama house.
I love this saying I heard this a long time ago. I will no longer set myself on fire to keep you warm. I love that saying. Yes. Anyway, let's move on. Oh, Anna, did you have anything?
I mean, there's not much else to say. No, I agree with what you guys said.
All right. Mafia video of the week. Oh, I done held on to this video for 2 weeks because I wanted this to see it. It is an old one, and it is from Tracy. I just wanted this input on this. I can't wait. This is an Easter thing, so that's how old it is. He's rised.
On the cross. I said, I'm so glad that he did it just for me. While I was unfit to live and unfit to die, he stayed there. Yes, he did. Everybody know that he stayed there. He stayed there all night Friday. The Bible said that he died. He died. Yes, he died. Anybody know that he died? He died. He died so that I might live. One thing, anybody here today know that he died? Anybody here today know that he died? Anybody here today know that he died? He died. some good news. Somebody ought to help me shout it. And Sunday morning, he got out the grave. And I am saying, I got all power in my hand. Say yeah, yeah.
You know, every time I try to make it out, you pull me back in. Like, oh, first of all, couple issues with this whole thing. You using props. You lose me with props. You lose me with props. You lose me with props. Second of all, bruh, man, you got in a coffin. Bruh, man, you got into a coffin. Jesus wasn't in the coffin. Jesus, you want to do Jesus? Here's what I need you to do. All right. So I know we don't bury people in caves like they did back then. Now, so get in the 6 foot deep hole. We're gonna throw some dirt on top of you, and then climb up out of that. Then climb up out of that one, sir. Yeah, it's crazy. And then the story is always so hilarious to me. He said he got up with all power in his hand. Ain't nobody see him get up though. See what I'm saying? So the storylines don't line up. Like there's so many issues. Yes, Parker, the coffin part was strange. The whole thing was strange. You already knew you were in for something when you noticed the back of the church was all wood paneling. You know you in a special type of place when wood paneling. That's just me. That would have been my first clue. Wood paneling against the back wall. We in a different kind of church. Then when the minister is preaching, not from the pulpit, but he one of them roving ministers, the ones that be all in the congregation and all in the back of the church. You got to keep standing up and turning around and stuff. That's another warning sign. But then when them jokers came out with a coffin, as soon as they got to the front and that man sat up in that coffin, you better hope I'm not a visitor at that church. Because see, if it's my home church, I'm stuck. You know, I got to behave as best I can. My daddy down. But if I'm visiting, he sat up and I walked out. That's what you would have seen. Come on, baby, we out. You better come on. All right, well, I'm gonna be in the car. I'm gonna see you later. I
said it once. I done said it 1,000 times. Deals, I'm with you. That's why I sit in the back sometimes with these new churches. Not going to hell for y'all. And I'm praying all the way to the car. Lord, you knew I didn't know nothing that they was going to do in there. So, you can't hold this against me. I ain't got nothing to do with this. I didn't see it coming. You knew I didn't see it coming. Nope.
I'm like, you know, God, you could have warned me. You know, you could have sent somebody by to tell me something. Don't go in today.
Screaming he died over and over, and then in a coffin. I just knew it was going to be some mess.
As soon as I saw the coffin, I knew this was about to be something. Like the wood, like I said, the wood paneling told me something wasn't right. But when they came out with that coffin, I was like, oh, don't let this fool be in the coffin. Please don't let this fool. And I'm telling myself not to say this, but I'm going to say it just because it's funny. All right, so just take this as humor. Whole church black. One white guy at the back holding the coffin. That's because he owned a funeral home. Y'all rented this coffin, and he gonna make sure you don't damage his property so that when he take this back,
you can do this little skit.
You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, we need to rent a coffin. Matter of fact, not even rent, because you know how these churches do. They don't want to pay for it. We need to borrow a coffin. It's for Jesus. So if you could just, find your way to help us so that we can reenact the resurrection of Jesus, we just need you to work. And he like, the only way I'm gonna do it is if I can be in the play too, because it sounds fire. I want to be part of the skit. Can I be part of the skit? Yes, you could definitely be part of the skit, but I need you to, but You gotta be on. Okay, we got it.
Paul Bearer number 7.
And the first dude, he was struggling. I don't know if anybody's
All
ever
of them
carried
were
a
struggling.
coffin.
How did they not drop it every time? Every last one of them when they got to the first pew, and they had to put their hand up to get through there. I'm like, somebody gonna drop it.
Yeah, the first. Remember the older dude who's kind of tall, and he put his hand on the pews as he was walking because that thing heavy. And then if you really pay attention, the dude who was towards the back, he was holding it with both hands, right? I don't know if anybody's ever carried a coffin, but when you got a person in a coffin, it is heavy.
Heavy.
Oh, Edwin been the white member of the church for years still. Edwin.
You're right. He might be. You know.
Edwin?
Edwin. Why not? Edwin.
See, I would have called him Philip.
I'll go call him Tim.
Okay. Okay.
There's always a Tim. And if there's not a Tim, there's going to be a Tom. Definitely going to be a Tom.
You know, one of the most common, Jason, Michael, and Robert.
Michael is still up there?
Because they usually go by Mike.
Ugh.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
My third thing is positive story of the week. You know the great thing about having your own show is you get to choose the rules. And my rule is petty is positive. When your ex asks you to move out.
I did this to an ex who asked me to move out while she was on a work trip and told me she was coming back with her new boyfriend. We were still together when she left. I got these little noisemakers, battery-powered ones the size of a quarter that emit sounds at just the right volume that you aren't sure if you really heard it. So quiet that two people could be sitting in an average-sized room, and while one can barely hear it, the other wouldn't hear a thing. They last ages and fit perfectly in light fixtures and in wall outlets. I got a box of 20 for them for like $100 on eBay and got so creative all over the house, her car. I even hid them in a boat her father got her. Rich family, and she grew up sailing. Now these little bastards make a noise at a completely random interval. Could be minutes, could be hours, could take the whole day off. They cycle noises like children laughing, a dying breath as they call it, a whistle, scratching noises, some other ones I can't remember, but you get the idea. It was so unpredictable, it was near impossible for someone to just figure it out. Candy Thunder, I need these. I need these. Months go by. I get a new place, get my life back up. Now we had a few friends in common, and one of them I kept up with. They were kind of sour about how she ended things, but they had grown up together and kept up the friendship, loosely talking and catching up on occasion. I never really asked about her, but one day we got to talking and he wanted to prank some friends on a camping trip, so I told him about the noisemakers. As I'm telling him about them, he slowly starts making this face like he's gradually losing his shit. He's got this huge grin on his face and asks me, "You put these in your ex's shit, didn't you?" And when I admit it, he starts laughing hysterically. Turns out her new boyfriend had only lasted a few months and had left telling her that he couldn't. I'm sorry. It's too funny. I've never had a story so funny that I couldn't talk. This is Turns out her new boyfriend had only lasted a few months and had left telling her that he couldn't handle whatever was going on with them and their mental states. Turns out for a while they had both heard things, and sometimes only one of them would hear them, which gave the illusion that something really effed with them was going on in their heads at different times. They couldn't figure it out, and eventually he wanted out completely. And having run down all the crazy list of shit people who were hearing voices would think, ended it believing he had been infected with some brain worm the government was putting in vaccines or something like that. It was amazing. I hadn't expected to hear anything about it. I rode that train for weeks. When it went away, I got another hit of that high. She moved out, told her parents she didn't want the house and to give it to her brother or sell it. Wouldn't tell them why. I always tell people who ask about her that I hold no grudge and don't tell them the part where I totally effed with her so bad that I overshot the got her backstage and hit the blissful state of satisfied with my work. My wife knows this story by heart because it's her favorite one to tell.
Don't date RFK.
He's
Don't
going
do it.
places. Yeah. So
That was beautiful.
positive story? No. Funny?
Yeah.
Yes.
Funny is positive.
And then I'm like, no, funny's not. Well, okay, we got different tastes. But here's where I'm going to go.
We definitely got different tastes.
Yeah. But here's where I'm going to go with this is a nah story as well.
Oh, come on.
I'm just saying.
It is literally on Amazon. Those things I cannot remember. I'll look it up again, but those gadgets do exist.
Oh, okay. I don't know, man. Okay. But yeah, okay. Yeah, whatever. But
if
I
it's a real
think I've done this a little bit. First of all, I definitely would have reacted differently. But if there was a petty streak in me, I wouldn't have thought to get that news from her, buy or order these devices, place them all around the house, talk to a friend about it, offer the same thing to my friend, not knowing how anything turned out with the friend, because you don't know if any of this stuff worked or did anything. So you're going to then refer this to your friend, and then your friend, because he starts laughing, then you, come on, bro, for real. That's why I said, like, thank you, Parker. But let's say all that's true. Better, as soon as you got that news, and she was out, she was gone, and she coming back with her new dude. Okay, cool. I'm gonna cut every power cord in the house. Like literally snip every power cord in the house. Refrigerator, microwave, lamps, all of it. So you're gonna have to now spend your time either replacing these items, or you're gonna have to go and find a way to like change your plugs or something like that. I don't know. But you know, if I was a petty person, I'll probably do that. But odds are, me being me, I just would have took all my stuff and left. You somebody else's problem now.
I love this pettiness. Sorry.
I know. You
I know.
enjoy it, petty.
I'm gonna tell you why this was so brilliant.
But it is funny.
Yeah, because it's funny. Because sometimes you don't know what the result is after you do something petty, and then you get the result back, and you didn't expect brain worms from a vaccine, but and I don't care what you do with the house. I'm not staying in that house. And oh God, this was brilliant. This was absolutely brilliant. If you got the balls to call me to tell me to move out because you moving your new boyfriend in, swing for the fences. And he did. And apparently his wife is one of his wife's favorite stories to tell. So yeah, dude, bravo. That was fantastic. That was fantastic work.
I mean, it was much better than going the route of burning the house down or,
Well,
like I said, cutting cords. That was better than those things.
yeah, Thea's be sinister. Yeah, because I'm side-eyeing Thea's looking at him going around cutting cords and stuff. I'm like, okay.
I mean, you are okay with this man thinking that he now has a mental illness.
Yeah.
And he did nothing to you. He ain't do nothing to you. Your problem is this woman.
Yeah.
But you finding joy or satisfaction out of the damage done to him.
Yeah.
Not her, him.
He was trying to damage her.
I know he was, but I'm just saying, like,
he was a byproduct. The new boyfriend. You can't think about that. It was great. One of my best stories.
That's true, Afro, because mine would get me in trouble because they would say I did destruction of property by cutting all the cord. So, you know, maybe get your wire snips and unplug everything and just snip one of the prongs so that it is not anchored properly. Or if you know how to do outlets, you can go behind the outlets, you disconnect the wires and cap them off, and then they never understand why the outlet won't work. But you're not causing any issues, like the house ain't gonna burn down or nothing like that. You know, or you put some super glue on the hinges, and then now you can't open the doors. There's different ways to be, petty and vindictive. In me, I don't place enough value on a relationship. I'll just leave because by you doing this when I'm not present was really probably the healthiest thing that you could have done. Right? So we ain't have to have a confrontation. You were cowardly and you were cruel, but now I can pack my stuff up, probably some of your stuff too, and then now.
Why would they think they have any mental illness from sounds? I would never.
Because Afro, think about this. Afro, think about this. You are trying to go to sleep, and all you hear, and it's not every night, it's just frequently. That would bug you out. I'm just saying, like.
Let me use this example. Crickets.
Well,
crickets who can throw their voices, throw their sounds. And you try to get this cricket out of your house, and you keep going, and you get close to a cricket, and you ain't nowhere near where the cricket really is. Wow, the guy irritates you, don't it? Like, okay, it's louder in this area right here. You ain't nowhere near where that cricket was.
You done hired the pest control people to come, Yeah, I can see where it could really mess with a person. Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get rid of a house. I guess because I don't believe in ghosts like that. So it's just.
Yeah, I'm not giving up my house. No. Anyway, Foxy's videos of the week. What is Ella doing?
I think she's taking notes for some of the ideas. So you like the one about the hinges, right? With the hinges, that they'll never figure it out. Or she's acting like Gretchen Whitmer when she was in the Oval Office with Donald Trump, and she's trying to hide behind the folder, but like nobody's gonna see her. We see you.
No, you don't.
All right, 3 videos of the night. Let's go ahead and get out of here. Once again, if you're new to the show, please hit that like button. I would truly appreciate it. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's go ahead and get into it. We've already seen these videos, but Theas have not, and I held on to these videos for Theas. First video, stop blocking.
Marlene, how old are you?
79 and counting. Why?
I got a buddy of mine around your age I think you might like.
You think all old people are soulmates?
Hey, if you want to sit around making ice cubes, be my guest. Be 79 years old and picky.
Fine. Set me up, Cupid.
Everything looks so good. I'd go for the corn on the cob, but I didn't bring my good teeth. You know what I'd really like to eat? You.
Easy there, Earl. Start slow. I apologize, Marlene.
Apologize for what? Hey, I may be 82 years old, but I got a tongue that can lick the paint off an outhouse.
Earl, why don't you tell Marlene a little bit about yourself?
All right. Look, Marlene, I could tell you I moved here from Brooklyn, served in Korea, 3 brothers. But the only thing you really have to know about me is in my pants.
Oh, my God.
Is that so?
I've got the biggest pair of nuts you've ever seen. Oh, geez, would you get that for me, please, Marlene?
I got it. Jesus Christ, Earl.
It wasn't meant for you. It was meant for her.
Sean, can I speak to you alone?
What?
I'm so sorry, Marlene. I've known Earl for a while, but I guess I've never really been in a social situation with him.
Stop getting in the way.
I'm sorry?
You heard me. I'm already old, and old people get horny too. So quit cock blocking me.
Period.
So first of all, Marlene, she done held it together. She looked pretty good, a little old lady. But Carl, Marlene, you can do better than Carl. You can do so much better than Carl. Carl, terrible. Get Carl tested. Get him tested. Something wrong with Carl.
I can appreciate
Carl got something.
Carl ain't got no time to be this. No.
Don't be beating around the bush. Time is short.
Right.
His name your vibrator, Carl.
Like how he get his pants off in the restaurant?
And nobody saw it. Yeah.
I mean, you could have thought he was fiddling or something like that, but it's just like, Carl, come on, bro. Carl. You nasty. But Marlene, she just like, she want to get it in, man.
Next video, Anna, this is one of your favorite videos. I'm going to save it because it is a really good video. Spoken word.
On June 17th, 2015, Dylan Ruff walked into a midweek Bible study. He sat and prayed with the church members before pulling out his gun, killing most, and allowing one to live. After the incident, he was found and arrested peacefully. When Dylan Ruff killed 9 innocent black people, we did not question his God. He wore flags of apartheid Africa. We did not question his allegiance. He committed the crime alone. We did not question his people. When Adam Lanza shot a classroom full of first graders at Sandy Hook Elementary, we did not ask him to leave the country. When Timothy McVeigh killed 168 people in Oklahoma, we did not call this a crime against every American. When the KKK killed thousands of black people while swearing to uphold Christian morality, we did not ask them to remove their robes. We did not call all Christians bigots. Do you see it? How we don't label all white men based on the sins of a few. Do you see it? How we don't have to condemn a whole class of people based on the actions of some. Do you see it? How all the names are different. How all the faces are different. How all the people are different. Therefore, we should not condemn all Muslims for the radicalism of a group. If you want to persecute ISIS, go ahead. But to persecute ISIS is to persecute those that gave them power. To persecute those that gave them power is to persecute the U.S. government. Do your research. Islam is not synonymous with terror. It is literally submission. It is devotion. It is peace. Terrorism is actually forbidden, and jihad does not mean holy war. It means struggle. It means survival. It means standing face to face with everything that wants to put you in the ground and choosing to be alive. Do your research and stop listening to CNN. Stop trading humanity for hypocrisy. Stop staring at Muslims in the airport. Stop letting your fear drag you into ignorance. Stop supporting billionaire Republicans who want to scare you into murdering the innocent, and start supporting leaders who speak peace in their native tongue. Instead of burning down the mosque, burn down the walls around the pulsating muscle in your chest and realize that we all have one. And lastly, as the customary greeting goes, Assalamu alaikum, peace be upon you. Wa alaikum assalam, and upon you be peace. Do you see it?
This is for Anna, so Anna, I'm letting you go first.
So that was from a couple of weeks ago, and I believe it was from the same company that I sent Marlon that the poetry where the young man and the woman were speaking for each other. It is incredibly brilliant work. I like that they push and I like where they reach to. And Assalamu alaikum. That was beautiful.
I love the, like you said, Parker. I love the timing. I love the message.
Everything.
I love the build, but that's me. I love a slow build, but that's me on, no, that's not true. I love a slow build in music, especially in choirs, especially in spoken word and things like that, where it just goes to a higher pitch as time goes on. When I say that, I can't stand slowness in a movie. Like, you really need to grab me in the first 20 minutes of this movie. I'm walking out. But in music, I love it. And public speaking, I love it. I love the message behind it. Factual, always was factual. We talked about this recently. Where white kid shoots up a school, we go and find out all the good things about him and all the wonderful things about him, what his grades were, and everything else. Black kid does the same thing. Found out that he stole a candy bar at 3 years old from a grocery store. That's how we do things. I get very tired of us pretending that this is not an issue. And y'all don't know this. A lot of the videos that I put up when we wasn't here was a lot of racist based videos, explaining systemic racism and things like that. And I was getting a lot of messages. I can't believe we're still talking about this. Oh my God, the only racism, the only racism that's been going around has been since Obama and stuff like that. It's like, I don't talk to you about that because you're a waste of my time. I only responded to one person who said, "You still talking about racism when we voted in a black man for president twice?" I said, out of 47 presidents? Okay. That's not a big accomplishment in this country. One black person out of 47, no women, no gay, no Latino, no Asian. Still. But you want to put your hat on, this country isn't racist because y'all voted in one black person. Okay. I'm always going to be the person that's going to put the mirror in front of you. How you respond to it is on you. But if you think I'm going to fight with you when your fight is old, your responses are old. We still talking about this? Is it still happening? then we're still going to talk about this. Now, if you don't want to hear it, you're on YouTube. You know, the place that has billions of videos that you could go watch. But I'm not going to take a video down. I literally had this. The video that was showing, this is how freaking backwards these people are to fight a fight so they don't feel bad about themselves. The video of explaining systemic racism is from Mr. Bean. I had two people come on there. Somebody need to call Mr. Bean and tell him that you're using this video. Dude, I did not do anything to his video other than repost it after asking permission. And him saying yes. But you act like I just... Mr. Bean was the one who explained the whole way through the whole video. The whole video is him. I even left in the credits at the end. Give him all credits and the people who helped them put the video together. But that wasn't what you really was fighting about, was you wanted me to take the video down, not because it was by somebody else, but because of the subject. And it was really hard for you to fight the person that was saying and explaining systemic racism because he's white. So you can't fight the author, you fight the publisher, aka me. And what happened? He was ignored.
Hey, so nice video. Nice video. Now, here's where I would like to see more people shift to. Stop trying to explain yourself to people who actively don't want to understand you. Why? Stop censoring these people, man. You know what I'm saying? For real, fuck them. Right? For real. It's so frustrating to me. We can't get past this point because we keep thinking we can somehow educate people who are knowledgeable about why they don't like you. Like, you're going to convince them to suddenly not dislike you? Like, what is wrong with us, man? For real. Like Malcolm once said, long as they've been doing it, they know what they're doing. Like, you talking about, forgive them, Lord, they know not what they do. Yes, they do. That's why they're doing it. And y'all silly out there, y'all silly behinds, still trying to explain your humanity to someone who denies your humanity. So, assalamu alaikum. Yes. Wa alaikum assalam. Yes. That is powerful, beautiful, but that is intrinsic to the faith. Why are you trying to explain that to some people who don't want to? They don't care what you say. They don't care. You say, well, Islam is about submission. It's about giving yourself to God. These people know that. They know that. And they still going to tell you that you have to disavow violence every time somebody who does not practice your faith faithfully does something. Because to be white is to be an individual, to be non-white is to be representative of the group. You know that. That is like, I don't know why it triggers me so much, but like when black folks be like, well, this white person did it, and then this black person got punished for it. Exactly. They've been doing that for hundreds of years. I'm not saying don't call it out. I'm saying stop acting like you're surprised. This is what they do. Ooh, the eagle ate a fish. Yeah, that's what they do. Now, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? What I wish for more people to do is uncenter whiteness and center on yourself for a little bit, right? So worried about what somebody who hates you is doing that you're not worrying about what you need to be doing, right? They're not hiring us the way they used to because they're anti-DEI. Yep, call it out because it's wrong. Call it out. What are we doing? Are you trying to get into a position where you can hire more people? Huh? Are you trying to get into a position where you can show where DEI is valuable? Because if the argument is DEI is valuable, having women in the workplace, having different minorities in the workplace, having people with different ability in the workplace, if you are so sure that that is the better way to do business, then get with some people, find a way to start a business, or find the businesses who also share that belief and show how that can be more successful than the business that shrugged off DEI. That's how you react to it. But spending all your time begging to sit at the counter of somebody who refuses to serve you, it makes no sense. We played that game. We've done that. And then what did we find out? When we were able to eat at the lunch counter, what did we find out? They food nasty. So you were begging for all this for so long. You want to access to spaces that meant you no good. So now that you've learned that particular lesson, let's learn the next lesson. How do we build spaces that are good? Right? There are white people who do not want you around, but there are white people who do not care if you're around, but there are white people who enjoy having you around. So interact with the second and the third group. That's what I get from this video. That's one of the things. It's like, I get it. If the video is meant to be of encouragement to those who are in the struggle and fighting against these ills, bravo, I'm good for that. But the way the words is captured is that you're trying to speak to a group as though they don't understand you, and they do understand you. They are not confused. They are not mistaken. They're not being tricked. They're not victims to some cult. They've made a choice. These are their beliefs. And the only thing that will shake them of their beliefs are themselves. Stop trying to save people who want to hurt you. Stop it.
All right, Diaz, I know you got to get out of here, so let me go ahead and get to the last video real quick. Fighting in the 80s. Let's go ahead and end off on a good point.
You are one funky cold Medina.
Oh, thank you, sweet Curl.
Do it, bro. Shoot. What the hell was that, Funky Freddy? This is my girl. Well, I got something for you. Now hold on, job sucker. It's time.
If I could at least find some Adidas shoes that were comfortable, I really would like to have those jackets. I like those jackets, those Adidas jackets. That's what I got from the video. Because honestly, that ain't how we fought. We fought.
We fought, yeah.
We fought.
Also, by the way, dude, you're missing your time frame and your wording. I grew up in the 80s. We ain't never called nobody no jive sucker. That's 70s. I don't know where you getting that from, but bro, that's 70s.
But it was a cute video.
It was a cute video. And I tell everybody where they can find you.
They know.
And she's gone. Theus.
For you can find me right here, kicking it with the good people. annoying everybody on the panel. That's what I do. Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're LGBTQ.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate Thea. We will see you all tomorrow for Radical Truth to Power news and review ish. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
Hey, y'all, however y'all feeling, man, make sure y'all vote in the midterms. Just the saying.
Please. And do some research. Don't CNN everything as a research.
No research. Just vote blue no matter who. Yeah.